As we continue our videos on Mere Christianity by C.S. Lewis, we're going to spend a little more time here than we normally would on a chapter. We're looking at Book 3, Chapter 1. And before we go on into this particular chapter, just an overview of Book 3. Book 3 is about Christian behavior, so that's the overarching theme here. There are 12 chapters in the book. These include topics such as morality and virtues, psychology, sin, sex, marriage, a broad range of topics, obviously, but he's talking about Christian behavior, broadly speaking, so that seems to be appropriate. And in this case, in Book 3, primarily, we don't have arguments presented by Lewis for why you should believe that the position is correct. More so, he's providing explanations of the Christian views on the various topics addressed. Now, in doing so, he is providing material for arguments and for defending a Christian view. So, in getting into morality, the chapter is about the three parts of morality, though we're going to take a couple moments before we get to the three parts. One question that he considers is, what is God like? And he thinks of a child who in Sunday school gives the answer, well, God's someone who makes sure no one's having fun. The way Lewis actually puts it is that God's someone who snoops around to see if there's anyone enjoying themselves and trying to stop it. So that seems to be a typical view of God in relation to morality. Morality is often considered something that interferes with our desires. It interferes with our trying to have a good time, and it limits us from doing so the way we want to. And so that's a common view of morality. That's fairly negative. Lewis says that there's a positive view of morality from a Christian perspective. Rather, moral rules or guidelines or commandments are like directions for running the human machine. So Lewis likes this analogy with humans. We're kind of like machines, and the rules are there to make sure that the machine is running well. So here, when you're thinking of a machine, think of maybe a large truck or a an earth mover or a bulldozer, or think of what it takes to fix a car. These are the kinds of ideas, not small tech things that are kind of made to be dummy proof, like earbuds, say. But often when we're learning how to use a new machine, such as the big machinery I mentioned, there are many ways that you can go wrong, right? But they seem right. It might seem right to push one lever forward to go forward, but actually that just raises the scoop. Whereas there's only one right way that will allow the machine to work properly. So Lewis is viewing Christian morality as providing those directions on how to run the human machine well. And there are two ways, and actually three, because we're going to talk about three parts of morality. We'll just start with the first two here. There are different ways that things can go wrong, that the human machine can go wrong. So one way is when individual humans drift apart from one another or collide with one another and do one another damage. I once heard a divorced person with children from a previous marriage marrying someone who also had kids from a previous marriage. And they said families don't really blend as much as they often collide together. And that seems to be the case often. But what Lewis has in mind is something like someone stealing from someone else, right? Someone bullying someone else, just simple examples like that. But there's a different way that the human machine goes wrong. And that's when things are going wrong inside the individual. When the different parts of a person, think about one's mind, one's will, one's emotions, one's intellect, right? And the way we think, very much Platonic here, a Platonic view of the soul. They either drift apart or interfere with one another, which is actually Plato's view of justice. And injustice is when they're drifting apart. So in those cases, one is disintegrating, right? Things are not working well together. So that's a second way that things go wrong that people often don't think about. Lewis provides some analogies to consider when thinking about how things might go right or wrong. And he suggests humanity and morality is like a band playing a tune. So for a band to play a tune well, each player's individual instrument has to be in tune. And it also has to come into the music at the right moment. So as to be able to combine with the other musicians properly, the other instruments, in order to make the right kind of sound for the song. So you have two things there. You have the individual instrument that has to be in tune, and then it has to be joining in with others in the proper way. But a third way is also considered, and that's what music is being played. And this is often neglected when it comes to morality. We'll explore this more and explain this more as we go. But the performance would not be a success, say, if everybody was doing, the instruments were in tune, they came in at the right time, but they were supposed to be playing jazz, but instead they were playing polka music or a dirge of some kind. So that's one analogy. Now, another analogy is a fleet of ships. So think of a navy for a country. Each ship has to be in proper working order, right, internally. The ships need to coordinate so that they're not colliding with one another. And they have to be heading in the right direction to get to the destination that they're supposed to get to. So those can tell us what the three parts of morality are. There's fair play and harmony between individuals. So how we treat one another, how we interact with one another. There is getting the inside of the individual set right. And then finally, being clear on the general purpose of human life as a whole, what the purpose of humanity is, which is analogous to what type of music the band is supposed to play. So that analogy of the band and each musician and the instruments help us to grasp the three parts of morality. So let's think about this a little bit more carefully. When we are considering these three parts of morality, most people focus on the first thing and they disregard the other two. Or maybe they don't completely disregard the other two. They just think the other two things are completely subjective. They're just a matter of one's personal preferences. So this is the case often when somebody says something like, well, it can't be wrong because it doesn't do anyone else harm. You know, I may be doing this, you may judge me, but no, you're wrong to judge me. I'm not harming anyone, so I can't be doing anything wrong. That's focusing only on the first thing, but not on the second and third thing. And the idea there is they think it doesn't matter what the person's ship is like inside, provided that one doesn't run into the next ship, right? As long as you avoid collisions, everything's fine. Or maybe they even think that what's going on the inside isn't really a moral concern. And Lewis says that is incorrect. In fact, our focus is too narrow when we're merely focusing on how we interact with other people and whether we harm other people. Now, it is natural to emphasize that it's natural to emphasize the social relations that we have, but that's primarily because the results of bad morality in that realm are obvious, and they include visible effects such as war or poverty or lies or shoddy work. Now, as long as you're talking about the first thing, for the most part, there's very little disagreement about morality, right? You should treat other people with kindness. You shouldn't steal from other people, those kinds of things. And most people would agree with that. But it's the second issue, that is what's going on within a person, that's also important. And Lewis says, look, you can't make people good on the inside by laws, but on the other hand, you can't have a good society without good people who are actually good on the inside, not merely concerned with the first aspect of morality. And then the third aspect, it comes into play when we're talking about worldviews. So different beliefs about the universe are going to lead to different behaviors. So we have to address the beliefs. These big picture beliefs are assumptions through which we filter everything that we experience. So different people have different worldviews. Now, religion, and Christianity in particular, include several claims about facts. And those facts must either be true or false. For Christianity, there was a person, Jesus, who walked on the earth. He was crucified. He did rise from the dead. He did make claims that put him on a par with God, like the ability to forgive sins. So if those claims are true, one set of conclusions are going to follow. And if they're false, a different set of conclusions are going to follow. So that's the significance there. Consider the person that says that something can't be wrong unless it hurts another human being. So they understand that it's not right to damage the other ships in the convoy, to use that ship metaphor, but they believe what they do with their own ship is no one else's business. What Christianity says, in contrast, is that, look, it's not your ship to begin with. You were made by someone else, so his purposes must be taken into consideration when we think about morality. All right, let's wrap this up. When we think about morality, we must consider all three areas: the relations between humans, what's going on within each person, and the relations between humans and the power that made us, which provide the purpose for humanity as a whole. So there's a lot of agreement about that first aspect, but there are significant disagreements about the second and third aspects. And Lewis is going to go on in book 3 and talk about many of those disagreements as we discuss various topics.